1-2-1s. This is 16 WAPT News at 10.
A home burst into a ball of flames as firefighters jump into action. Tonight, the search for what went wrong.
Plus, a river rescue in the nick of time.
For an 11-year-old child to be saved yesterday, to continue to live his life, I'm going to tell you, I wear this uniform proudly.
Tonight, a live report on how that child is doing.
And one teen taking extreme measures to avoid getting a red light ticket. Well, the heaviest rainfall has pushed off to our north, but right now we do have another round of some isolated showers developing mostly along and north of a line from Vicksburg to the Jackson Metro. We do have more rain showers on the way late tonight throughout our Wednesday. I'll continue to break down our chance for some rain in just a few minutes.
All right, Brittany, thank you. A dramatic rescue near Columbus this holiday weekend, Megan.
Oh, yes, Stephanie. A wildlife agent is being hailed a hero after saving this child from drowning. 16 WAPT's Tammy Eswick live at UMC tonight where that child is recovering. Tammy.
Yeah, 11-year-old Michael Williams recovering tonight right here at Blair E. Batson Children's Hospital in Jackson. His rescuers, two wildlife officers who noticed something just wasn't right.
Watch as 11-year-old Michael Williams finally takes a breath after wildlife and fisheries officers pulled him from a river near Columbus Monday. Nearby, Corporal Mark McClinsky and Corporal Travis McDonald shake hands with emergency crews for a job well done. Wildlife officials say the officers were on patrol when they saw several kids on the riverbank.
Our officers didn't feel like everything was just right. They turned around and one of those children said, "My brother is underwater and he has not surfaced."
That's when they jumped in.
Immediately, both officers entered the water. They started diving in approximately 12 foot of water.
They went down several times, coming up empty-handed each time until
they grabbed this child up, swam this child to the bank. At this point, we've got no pulse. We're under the impression this is a fatality.
The wildlife officers got Williams on the bank, then immediately started CPR on his lifeless body.
And it wasn't long after that, this child released that water out of his lungs. We got a pulse back.
Emergency crews put Williams on a stretcher and rushed him to the hospital. Meanwhile, wildlife officials say they're proud of the job their guys did.
For an 11-year-old child to be saved yesterday, to continue to live his life, I'm going to tell you, I wear this uniform proudly.
We spoke to wildlife officials earlier this evening. They say they visited with that 11-year-old and his family, and he's doing much better tonight. Live in Jackson, Tammy Eswick, 16 WAPT News. Back to you guys.
That is great news for sure, Tammy. Thank you. Now, again, this river rescue happened in Lowndes County near Columbus in the Tennessee-Tombigbee Waterway.
New at 10, a home destroyed when it goes up in flames in Attala County. See it there, firefighters battling some major flames and smoke from a house fire in Kosciuszko. This video is from Kazi Online. The fire sparked this afternoon on Elm Street. Firefighters say no one was in the house at the time. They're still working to determine what caused it. Also new tonight, a man who opened fire on a Hinds County deputy last year will spend the rest of his life in prison. A judge sentenced 24-year-old Marquise Charleston to 3 consecutive life sentences. Police say Charleston tried to drive around a roadblock, and when deputies tried to stop him, he fired shots. The district attorney says this case marked Charleston's 6th felony conviction.
An arrest in the murder of a professor. On the left, the suspect in this case tonight, he's in custody. His name is Melvin Potts. On the right, the victim, JSU professor Dr. Garrick Shelton. Now, Potts has a criminal past, but as 16 WAPT's Andrew Kinsey found out, some can't believe he's guilty of murder.
This is a mugshot of 20-year-old Melvin Joshua Potts. He's facing a murder charge in the death of a college professor.
Mr. Potts became a subject of interest late yesterday afternoon into the evening.
Madison police issued a warrant for Potts after investigators uncovered clues connecting him to the death of JSU professor Dr. Garrick Shelton. Last Wednesday, officers found Shelton's bloody body inside of a bedroom at a house on Harris Lane. The 37-year-old had been stabbed to death. His car, TV, and Xbox missing.
Have we been able to piece together a motive or even a relationship between the victim and the suspect here?
Well, I think at this point we're comfortable with saying that they are acquaintances. Mr. Potts was not associated, that we can determine, with Jackson State University. So I don't think there was a professional relationship.
Police say Potts surrendered Tuesday without a fight. When officers tracked him down, he was at his mother's house on St. Charles Street in Jackson.
We did some digging into Potts' past and uncovered this isn't his first time behind bars. These 4 mugshots taken in Jackson from prior arrests dating back to 2012. Just last month, the deputies in Hinds County arrested him for disorderly conduct.
I heard that he murdered the chairman from Jackson State.
And do you believe that?
I don't want to.
Ashana Powell says she's Melvin Potts' girlfriend. She says she can't believe that the man she was hoping to start her life with is now facing a murder charge.
And did you ask him what happened?
Yes, sir, I did. But it was like he was scared to tell me what's going on. He didn't want to open up to me. But I knew for something, it was something going on with him.
You think he is capable of doing something like that?
The person that I know, no, he's not. He's a good person. He's loving. He's caring. He's a wonderful man. I promise you, he is a great person. I've never known Melvin to do anything like this.
In Madison, Andrew Kinsey, 16 WAPT News.
Tonight, Melvin Potts is at the Madison County Detention Center with no bond. He's scheduled to make his initial appearance before a judge this week. Dr. Shelton's funeral is Saturday at 11 a.m. at Pilgrim Rest Missionary Baptist Church in Madison. Turning now to Commitment 2014, exactly 1 week until the primary election.
And there are no signs of a ceasefire on the negative campaign ads in the U.S. Senate race.
Chris McDaniel's supporter charged with a felony for posting video of Senator Thad Cochran's wife in a nursing home.
It is getting tough to track all of those campaign spots. Kenneth Townsend with the Political Science Department at Millsaps College says there have been so many attack ads, they could be actually turning voters away.
It's hard to know what actually makes people vote the way they do, and it's often hard to determine whether or not the negative ads are actually the thing that make people vote a certain way or another. And a lot of evidence shows that ads, whether negative or positive, only have an impact for about 24, 48 hours, and then people kind of forget what it showed them.
Well, Townsend also noted the number of outside sources producing campaign material for or against one of the candidates. So that brings us to our new Instapoll 16. We are asking you in our non-scientific poll, do attack ads influence your vote? And so far, most of you say no. Tell us what you think tonight. Text 1 for yes, 2 for no to 601-980-4416. You can also vote on WAPT.com.
And again, Thad Cochran, Chris McDaniel, and Thomas Kerry are on the ballot in the Republican primary. The Democrats vying for the U.S. Senate are Travis Childers, William Compton, Bill Marcy, and Jonathan Rall. As for the U.S. House of Representative races, incumbent Greg Harper is running against Hardy Caraway for the Republican nomination, while incumbent Benny Thompson faces Damian Faircantu.
Tomorrow is the deadline to qualify for the city council seat formerly held by Jackson Mayor Tony Yarber. Paperwork is due by 5 p.m. tomorrow. At last check, 6 people are in the race for Ward 6. The special election is on June 17th, and if necessary, a runoff is on July 1st. The JPS board says it's giving the Transportation Department 2 years to fix its problems with late arrivals. This decision comes after leaders today voted down a proposal to have a private company take over bus service. Parents have been complaining about late buses or even buses that did not show up at all.
Looking at arriving to school a little bit earlier or having staff, not transportation staff, but staff that receive those students who have to arrive early, to look at, in some cases, better routes.
In the 2-year time frame that's been given, I think it's a challenge that the bus drivers can and will do successfully.
The school board president says after a year, if nothing has changed, the board will consider asking for bids from private companies again.
A 30-year-old Jackson restaurant is closed tonight. The general manager of Nick's told us the owner wants to spend more time with his family. They left a note on the door of the restaurant explaining the decision to shut down to customers and their neighbors in Fondren.
You would wonder in that case if they were going to sell it to somebody else. I can understand the name Nick being tied to the family. That is a possibility, but certainly I hope the space is used.
It hurts simply because they've been a great entity for our community for many, many, many years, and they gave many people